Hello, my name is Kenneth Blackburn, and in today's video, I'm going to be discussing the Baroque period. Firstly, some general information about the background. The period refers to the dominant style of Western classical music composed from about 1600 to about 1750. As we all know, the Baroque period followed the Renaissance period, and it can be divided into three major phases: early, middle, and late. The times are overlapping, and they are dated from 1580 to 1650, from 1630 to 1700, and from 1680 to 1750. The term Baroque comes from the Portuguese word barroco, meaning misshapen pearl. The Baroque style used contrast, movement, exuberant detail, deep color, grandeur, and surprise to achieve a sense of awe. The style began in Rome, then rapidly spread to the rest of Italy, France, Spain, Portugal, then Austria, southern Germany, and Poland. From the mid-17th century, European politics were increasingly dominated by the Kingdom of France of Louis XIV, where royal power, yet again, was solidified in the Civil War of the Fronde. It was during this century that the English monarch became increasingly involved in conflicts with Parliament, which would culminate in the English Civil War and an end to the dominance of the English monarchy. During this period, the European colonization of the Americas began, which includes the exploitation of silver deposits, which resulted in bouts of inflation, as wealth was imported into Europe. In the Islamic world, the gunpowder empires, the Ottoman, Safavid, and Mughal, grew in strength. The Dutch colonized Ceylon. King China spent decades of this century with economic problems, and in Japan, the Tokugawa shogunate was established. So there's a lot going on politically during this time, and it's hard to go into detail about everything. Traditions and norms were turned upside down as the pendulum swung back and forth between periods of war and peace, austerity and exuberance, and religious tolerance and prejudice. Religion varied widely based on region and continent you're in, but religion remained an important part of everyday life for the most part. Fashion was influenced by many social, cultural, and political factors during this period. Men would wear breeches, doublets, justacorps, and cravats, while women would wear gowns, farthingales, petticoats, and mantua. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. Sweeping changes during this period would transform the public, social, and private lives of citizens. New developments in recreation, commercialization, and industrialization led to a transformation in both entertainment and occupations available. Gender roles were also still the norm during this period, where men were like the breadwinners of the household and women would take care of the household itself and the children. Secondly, let's talk about some of the music background. The Baroque saw the creation of commonplace tonology, which is an approach to writing music in which a song or piece is written in a particular key. This type of harmony has continued to be used extensively in Western classical and popular music to this day. During this era, professional musicians were expected to be accomplished improvisers of both solo melodic lines and accompaniment parts. Concerts were typically accompanied by a basso continuo group, which provided the harmonic structure of the music by supplying a bass line and chord progression, while a group of bass instruments such as the viol, cello, and double bass played a bass line. A characteristic of the Baroque form was the dance suite, which was designed for purely listening and not accompanying dancers. During this period, composers experimented with finding a fuller sound for each instrument, made changes in musical notation, and developed new instrumental playing techniques. Baroque music expanded the size, range, and complexity of instrumental performance, and also established the mixed vocal and instrumental forms of opera, cantata, and oratorio, and the musical forms of the solo concerto and sonata as musical genres. Excuse me. Dense, complex, polyphonic music, in which multiple independent melody lines were performed simultaneously, was an important part of many Baroque, choral and instrumental works. I'm having trouble speaking and reading today, clearly. Overall, the Baroque music was a tool for expression and communication. Thirdly, the music choices. The first choice I chose was Se Dolce El Tormento by Claudio Montverde. The original piece genre was secular and aria, and it was performed on a keyboard. I chose the song because it's beautiful, and if my interpretation is correct, it's about being denied love and finding the longing of it more sweet than it would have been if the woman in the song had returned his affections. The second piece I chose was Dido's Lament by Henry Purcell. The original piece is a English opera / aria in genre, and there are many variety of instruments used for this performance. I chose it because the story behind it is about finding love and then leaving it. The story, bear with me on the names, I'm going to get the names wrong. It's based on the Aeneid, the Roman legend of the Trojan warrior Aeneas, traveling from Italy from the fallen Troy in order to settle there and secure his son Ascanius' lineage. Again, bear with me on the names. Their ship is blown off course from Sicily and land on the shore of North Africa in Carthage, a town newly settled by the refugees of Tyre. He falls in love with their queen Dido and dutifully departs for Italy, leaving her behind. And she's distraught at his betrayal, so she orders a pyre to be built and set ablaze so he can see from his ship. She is said to be singing this lament as she stabs herself as he keeps sailing on. That's all I have for you today. See you next week. Bye.